So today we are going to focus on the ANDON integration that Proplanner has developed as a part of its MES solution. Um, the ANDON systems are typically systems that are used for creating alerts and reporting issues on the floor. Proplanner is just using the shop floor viewer, which is already a part of uh, the operator's execution piece and extending it further by creating an alert system or an and-on system. So we'll look into that in more detail now. Uh, the as just a little recap on where Proplanner sits as an overall solution and specifically how the and-on piece integrates with that. The ProPlanner system is primarily a process planning solution or a bit of process as we call it. So it's that big circle in the dark circle in the middle. Uh, the engineers in ProPlanner are looking at bills of material being released by MRP, by engineering design, and taking that bill of material and creating a process out of it, a meaningful process that makes sense to the operator on the floor, and then tying additional piece of information such as images, parts, tools, description, mapping models and options to it, doing maybe some time studies with it, etc. And all of this information combined makes up a work instruction for the operator. That work instruction is then further configured for units and model option combinations on the line so that we are able to present to the operator the right set of instructions at the station where they are. So that the execution piece or the MES piece of ProPlanner, its primary purpose is to send instructions to the operator, to display shop floor instructions to the operator. Uh, and while the operator is looking at these instructions, if there are issues that the operator sees on the line, issues tied to parts, tools, instructions themselves, or something that they need to report to the management, uh, with that kind of a requirement from customers, we decided to add another piece to the shop floor viewer or the execution called ANDON or ANDON dashboards. And the tool that we use is called Factboard, and I'll get into that next. But uh, how this came to be is the fact that the operator is looking at the work instructions. Why have them leave the ProPlanner work instruction and go start another system or look at another system for filing these issues or making these calls? Why not add a feature in the shop floor viewer that allows the operator on the floor to file and on issues? With that being said, uh, just another recap of the three systems we have in ProPlanner. So we have Assembly Planner, as I said, that's the system that the engineers are using to create the data. It's the data authoring system. All the work instructions are being defined in Assembly Planner. All of that data is being published or pushed to the shop floor viewer, which is a web-based application, which allows the operators to go in and look at the work instructions configured by a unit for the station that they're working on. But these two systems are communicating mainly for shop floor instructions. We now have a third system called the fact board. And the fact board is basically a reporting slash dashboard setup or system, and it's getting all its uh, data from execution systems such as shop floor viewer or ProPlanner, PFEP mobile apps, and so on. And what all it's doing is it's reporting the data out for someone to review the status of life. So we are extending that concept of pushing data from the shop floor viewer, which is the piece that the operator is interacting with, to the fact board, which is a display system. And fact board is where we have the ANDON view built in that allows the operator to report it and allows everyone else to see it as a as the as as see the issues that are being reported on the line. So for today, I'm basically going to cover it's all about ANDON today. So I'm going to cover the components that are in the ANDON system, how Proplanner uses that, how Proplanner has approached the ANDON system, and we'll get into a live demo you know of the ANDON setup. Just some of the upcoming webinars, if you're still are not following the website, you can just wanted to let you know that we have uh, the webinar coming on the virtual build, which is the 3D technology that Proplanner has built in that combines the 3D CAD model to the process. And then we have a webinar coming up on Flow Planner, which is material handling using AutoCAD. So just some new exciting stuff coming up. All right, so ANDON, component. What are the main components of an ANDON system? So an ANDON system is a system which is uh, a notification system that the operator on the floor can uh, can use to alert managers, supervisors, line leads, engineers, etc., in the plant of any quality or processing problem that they're facing, which can be just an alert or can be something really major which will stop the line. So a quick way of them communicating and broadcasting that issue to a bigger audience. So there are three steps to the ANDON. One is to create the alert, and that's where the shop floor viewer piece comes in. The operator who's using the ANDON, who's using the shop floor viewer to look at their work instructions, can create the alert right from there. The other the other piece of the ANDON is to notify and broadcast the issue. So from Proplanner, you're allowed to send the ANDON alerts to dashboards, several dashboards throughout the plant, or you can email directly to certain groups so that they're aware of the ANDON issue. And then final step of the ANDON is to close the issue once the right measures have been taken. And Proplanner is tracking the whole cycle from the time the issue is created all the way down to when the issue is closed, and is storing all of that downtime in a separate bucket, so that later when you're doing an analysis of your execution data, you're able to see how many such events happened, what were the root cause of those events, how long did it take to close them, and what can we do in the future to avoid such end-on issues. Just the trigger or the starting point of an ANDON in Proplanner, the creating the alert part is from our work instruction systems. I just want to make that very clear. So typically, the kind of communication that happens between the shop floor viewer, which is where the operator is working, and and our reporting system, which is the fact board. We send when an operator signed on to a unit and when they signed off. So this is for folks who are trying to track the amount of time the operator is spending working on a unit and trying to compare that to the expected time or the theoretical time based on time studies, etc. So we capture the unit sign on and sign off and send it to fact board so that you can see the amount of time being spent at a station. Um, Down here we have test failures, part tracking measurements. These are all inputs that the operator is capturing while performing the work, and is a part of the standard work package that needs to be sent as the unit is completed. But then in the middle you have these breaks and hot issues, and that's where we extended that concept to ANDON. Breaks are just operator pausing the work instruction because of whatever reason. They have to go maybe get lunch or something. So a break can be anything. It's a genuine entry. It doesn't mean the line is down. It's the operator trying to stop the instructions because of some reason, right? So it's tracked under the break bucket. But then we have hot issues. Hot issues are issues that are catastrophic, can stop the line, and that's where we have extended. That is the part that we've extended to the ANDON dashboard. If you're filing a hot issue and it's critical, uh, you know that to us that is a trigger that something is really majorly wrong with the line and someone needs to address it. So that's the extension of the ANDON. And then what we do with that is we have a display on Factboard, which we try to mimic a standard ANDON dashboard where we show which station is having the problem, which operator at that station caused it, so you can clearly see what the issue is. All right, with that said, I will jump into the two applications, the shop floor viewer, which is the source of my ANDON issue reporting, and the fact board, which is the reporting of that particular issue. So let me get into that right away. So here, what I have is our shop floor viewer, and this is just a sample data that we put together from various sources. But What you see here is a list of units that the operator has to sign on to, right? So as I sign on to a specific unit, uh, so this is what the operator would be doing on the shop floor, right? In a usual work instruction setup. They would be signing on to the unit by either scanning the unit that's in front of them or by clicking the serial number of the unit. Okay, that's what I thought. It's a wrong configuration. I'll click the right unit now. Okay, so as soon as I sign on to the unit, it shows me the process tree, which I would let that load. But it's basically a list of tasks. For me as the operator, I have signed on to station one. I am operator station one, OPO1, and these are the set of tasks that I have to perform for that particular unit. So the first is frame rail to main line. So I'm going to click on that. That's my first activity. Yes, I'm going to sign on to the activity. And now the clock started at the back for me to see what my work instruction is, and the system is tracking how long it's taking for me to complete this work and so on, right? So I'm signed into the work instruction. Right here, I see a problem. Let's say the image the image that should have been here is missing. That's a big deal. Me as an operator, I'm not able to understand the instructions, and I cannot move further because I don't understand. I don't see the updated image here. So at this point, from this screen, I can file a hot issue. So you see a button right there called hot issue. I file the hot issue. I click on the hot issue, and then it's asking me what is going on. So I can file as saying that I'm missing SOP images, right? So I'm missing an image, and is that critical? Yes. Is there a quality problem? Yes. So I can say unable to build unit or something. I can file all these details, and I can say yes, that's my hot issue. I want to file it. So right there and then, I have said that I cannot proceed because I don't see all the necessary details uh, in my work instruction, and therefore, I'm going to stop work because I cannot proceed any further. So it brings the screen over in front of me, and it says, okay, you are you paused your work instructions, you filed the hot issue. At this point, I have two options. If someone comes up to me and says, "Okay, this is not really a problem. Here's the right tool. Here's the right part. Here's the right image," I can close the hot issue and proceed. Or I can also go back to the work instruction and continue to work, so that if it's just something that I wanted to report, but it doesn't really prevent me from working, I can go back. I can click resume and keep working while the hot issue has been filed, and folks have already been alerted. So these are my options as an operator after I file the issue. Well, what happens to how do we alert others about the issue? So that is Factboard, which is at the back over there. And so you can see Factboard is basically a setup where I just refreshed it. Factboard is basically a setup where all the stations on the line that I would like to see are displayed in a single view, and any station that's having a problem an ANDON problem from an ANDON standpoint or a line down standpoint will have a red band around it. And for my view, if there is even if there's one station with a red band around it, that bar at the top will turn red, telling me that there's a big problem. So if this was on a big monitor somewhere on my line, or if this was at the end of the line leads cubes where you have a screen which is your end-on screen. The moment you see that red band pop up, you should know that there's a problem happening on the line. As far as what that problem is, if you see here, the station that I was signed into is station A1, A60, station 1, OP1. See that at the back. And so I can click on it, and it'll tell me what's going on. So it's the issue that I just filed. I'm unable to build the unit. It's a quality issue that was reported from the shop floor. So at this point, we can go about resolving the issue, walking up to the operator and telling them what to do, or I can call the line lead and say, "Hey, this is it. Go give them the new part, or resolve it by doing X, Y, Z." So as a line lead or a supervisor, I can close the issue right from here. Right? I can say I can X this out. I can say close the issue. and now it turns back to green. My cycle time is the time that I've been working on the unit. My takt time is the time that I ought to be spending at the unit. So both of those are reported. I don't have a target set for this particular example, but you could set based on the units that you're building for that day. You can say you have 8 units to build and you're working on three, so it could be a three of eight kind of a display here, so that you know which unit you are at. But this is the communication piece. Now, the operator files a hot issue, the dashboard gets updated. The operator can close the issue right there and then, or the line lead can close the issue from the dashboard. This view that you're seeing is the view for the line lead or the supervisor. It's got all my stations that I need uh, to look at. Uh, but the way I would see it is at the station where the operator is. um, the ANDON, since we need to simulate the lights at that station. The operator's station should have a monitor with this display on it, right? A monitor that's overhead, that's up higher above the unit that the operator is working, that everyone has visibility to, kind of mimicking the ANDON lights where you pull that cord to turn the light red, green, or red or green. So it's the same concept here. You have a monitor where this particular uh, web page is being displayed. It's linked to the operator's tablets, and it's by default green. And whenever the operator files an ANDON issue, this band will turn red. You can play some music here if you want. One of our customers has requested to play a music if there is an ANDON file. So you can play some music if you want, but the overhead monitor will now have a big red band around it to indicate to whoever is on the line that this is the station where the problem is. So multiple ways of alerting. One at the station level, which is mimicking the ANDON lights. The other would be the dashboard view that I was showing. And if you notice here, this is configurable. So while I'm at the station, I want to make this only for the station where the display where the operator is working. But if I'm at the end of the line or I'm a supervisor, I can grab the stations that I want to look at, and I can have a display that shows all my stations, right? So it's easy to configure this. The station at each station is just the view of that particular station, or you could have one monitor that for all the three operators at that station. So at station one A60, I could have a view set up for OP1, OP2, and OP3, kind of like this. So this is what I see in the overhead monitor. Um, Yeah, so this is what I see the overhead monitor. And if any one of these turns red, that red band at the top will catch attention and it'll let them know that this station is having a problem. It's not necessary that these two folks have a problem. Theirs can stay the way it is, but whoever's reporting it will have a band around them to point out that this is the station where the problem is. Now, that was, so I can say my issue is closed. And at this point, there's one more thing that I can do. So along with filing hot issues, I can also go on a break, right? So this is where I'm generally going out for lunch, or for a meeting somewhere, and I can say break on, and in this case I can select. Uh, this is customizable. You can define your own category of breaks, but something I can select that I'm going on a break. And if I do this, what happens to the fact board, right? On that fact board now, uh, the operator collect. So my cycle time is still being displayed, and this is now showing me that uh, there's no ANDON issue or problem like that. But the shop floor viewer now has my break alert showing up, so that whoever's looking at my station knows that I've gone on a break. So this is if I'm trying to file issues from the unit that I'm working on. If I am just a supervisor on the line, or a person who is monitoring the line, and I feel that there's a problem with that particular line, uh, so rather than going into a specific unit, I can also file hot issues right from my list of units, right? So or my bill list. So in this case, if you see the hot issue button right here, I can say I want the hot issue to be sent to both my display dashboard and my email. So I want an email to be sent out uh, for this particular issue. I don't want the dashboards to be updated, so I can just select email. I can select factboard where I don't really care about an email. I just need the alert to be shown on our dashboards. Or I can do both, where I inform the user about. I want to inform the user as well as update the dashboards. I can say that this is the subject of the email. Uh, Same thing I can say is missing cart or something at the line, which is holding up the line. You can set the severity to multiple levels. In this case, it's just a is it a normal issue, is it a warning, or is it a critical issue? You can set either of those. What type of problem is it? Is it a quality related problem? In this case, it's a logistics problem. I don't have carts on the line. I can I can put a serial number if I want that this is the serial number that is missing the card and therefore holding up the line, or I can just say and I can type out the details, right? So I can just say card, this particular card type has not been delivered to the line. So I can file a hot issue from here. This hot issue is not related to any station. This hot issue is not related to any, yeah, there you go. It's not related to any station or any particular unit, but it's for the line. And once I have it filed from that So from that, I was right now in station A160. I filed it from that particular station. It put a red band around that station, and it's going to tell me that I'm missing cards at the station. So what I meant is it's not related to a unit. It is related to a station. It's not related to any unit, and it's just a generic issue that I file at that station. I'm saying SC001 has not been delivered to the line. It's going to hold up production, or it is holding up production. So two means of filing these calls. One is from the unit itself, where you are assigned into a station, you're an operator, you sign into a station and you file the call, and it's associated to that unit. It tells everyone which unit is called, which unit is being held up. Or the other way of doing an ANDON call is just at the station level where you don't really care about the unit. You're reporting a generic issue, but a critical issue that's holding up the line or will hold up production at that station. And again, we are updating. We're using both calls to update the dashboards at the back and letting you know what's going on. Once the dashboards have been updated, you can close the issue directly from the line, or you can close the issue from the dashboard. As a supervisor, you can say, yep, SC001 is on its way, it should be there in the next hour, minute, whatever, and I'm going to close the issue right now. And all of this information that you're seeing here is being collected at the back as downtime. And whenever an ANDON call is fired, it's being collected as downtime. And you can report this information out so you can see per unit, per day, how many such calls were made, how long did it hold up the line, and what were the root causes. So more details you add in here about what's going on, the more details you can provide in your ANDON reporting, and you can get to the root cause of why your lines are failing. So that is the ANDON integration that Proplanner has made. As I said earlier in my PowerPoint, it covers three key components of the system. Uh, Assembly planner to create the work instruction data, shop floor viewer to view the work instruction data, and fact board to report the ANDON from the shop floor viewer that can then be used as the alerts for everyone on the line and everyone to know that what's going on from a line down standpoint. So that is all I have for our ANDON presentation. Thanks for joining.